YouTube, how we doing? PPS here. It is time for another Pass the Prop. It is Friday show, so it's a big show for us today. Got a lot of games to break down. Join as always. Stu, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. Just got the show tweeted out there. Feeling pretty good. I mean, we got a good slate this weekend. A lot of good action to talk about. So I'm a little tired. I feel like I have a cold coming on too, which is never the funnest, but we're gonna battle through. We'll be all right.
Yeah, and hopefully you didn't stay up and watch that game last night because what a fucking piece of shit football game that was. It's hard to find games like that nowadays when they give you all the penalties for some of the stuff on defense. But holy shit, horrible game. And I guess we can just talk about it right away. Do you want to talk about anything before we get into our recap here about the game last night?
Like about the game,
Yeah.
I only watched the first half, so yeah, I don't know. It looked like nothing happened at all in the second half, so I don't know. Like all the stats were the same. Like the two guys I bet, same. Like I don't know what happened in the second half, but yeah, I was not watching. So unfortunate, just a shitty game in general,
Yeah, Gino got hurt for the end of a drive. Thank God I played some people last night. I played against some people, and the only person I played in fantasy was Denver defense. So I'm chilling going into the weekend for my week-long fantasy. I played against Genty and Dobbins in one league, and then I played against Bo Nix. So I'm fucking loving it, dude. I'm like, fuck, Bo Nix fucking shit the bed again, and I'm happy I was able to at least capitalize on it this time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, haven't really had much positive to say about him, and I feel like it's just kind of showing every week. He's like a system quarterback that's like struggling in the system. You know what I mean? So it's kind of rough to watch when like the rest of the team, the defense is so talented, but obviously anytime they drop back to pass, it just looks disgusting.
Yeah, it's tough too because you'd think that we were going to get some garbage yards from Gino. I needed, I think, 3 more completions for my bet for the show, and they 4-minute drilled the shit out of them and only needed to get 2 first downs and pretty easy. Like it just sucks when you know what's coming and that defense is bad enough that it doesn't really matter if you just got to stop it. So it was tough. It was tough to watch that when you're like, all I need is one stop here. Can't let them get 3 first downs, and it was just like 2 runs every time, and we're already there.
Yeah, that's what it feels like when you just play bad teams, like bad teams, unfortunately, kind of just, mess up. How many times did Gino being sacked last night? It was the over under 6. Yeah.
Yep. 6 sacks and a pick. So I did see the optimal DraftKings MVP was the defense. I have not seen that in a long time. But Denver's defense was actually the optimal MVP of a showdown slate, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah. It was a game that kind of expected with that offensive line struggling as much as it has. Genty, I think, had like 5 or 6 runs that were negative, and then probably another 5 or 6 that were like 1-yarders. So volume was there. I was surprised to see the volume there, but Vegas kept it close, and I don't know. I'm just not that big of a fan of this Denver team, bro. I just don't like their offense that much.
Yeah, no, it's just hard to imagine myself trusting them in a playoff game, like when it matters the most and they got to drive down the field and win. It's like they can pull off some fancy stuff. They can run the ball well at times, but I don't know if they can actually consistently line up with some of these, AFC powerhouses.
Yes, sir. Let's get this quick recap in here and we'll get onto this. Like, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Bowers at 31 at halftime, and he did not get any more receiving yards. I don't know how that is possible, but unfortunate, I guess, for the Raiders. And then Sutton, I believe, had 16 at half, ended with like 24. So I don't know. Both of them were like on track. I was feeling pretty good. It was like a fairly solid game script, but, no dice.
Yeah, I had Bo Nix under pass attempts as my only other play in that game last night. And I was getting a little nervous there a little bit, and but that entire second half, it was just run city, dude. I don't even think they really threw the ball more than 4 times. And I know everybody's talking about Franklin taking over for Sutton as the 1, so it's tough just because that game is not really a great sample size for it because that game was just such a shit show all the way around for everybody. So Geno, 19.5 did not get there. So I took the L on that one as well. Yeah, I was expecting at least 5 catches of Brock Bowers. We get the big play. So I think the only Bowers cash you could have got is longest completion. Every other bet on Bowers was an L. So coming off that big week, it was tough because, man, dude, I was not expecting a 1-catch outing from, a guy coming off a 3-touchdown performance.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. It's like you'd expect like double teams and all that, but it just felt like the Raiders unlearned everything that was working well for them last week, like coming out the gate, passing quickly, getting Bowers on early downs, where you can disguise it and play action and it's not obvious you're going to pass, like that's what they were doing and it was working. And then they were like, oh, that was awful. We need to run the ball more. And, they lost again. And Chip Kelly just does Chip Kelly things. Apparently, he's the highest paid OC in the league. I didn't realize he was making that much money. So good luck with that, guys.
Yeah.
And good luck with Geno. That was going to be my hot take. I was going to say Geno gets benched in that game. It didn't end up happening, but it's probably time, in my opinion, unfortunately, for the GOAT Geno to.
Yeah, it just sucks because you got to be tough as fuck to be behind that offensive line, and you're just going to get fucking beat up. So I think they're just pretty much sacrificing him at this point because no matter who you bring in is definitely going to lose that confidence right away, being on his back for half the game. So, but moves us to 31 and 26, 6.99 units as we head into this slate. We have a pretty good slate this week, Stu. We have a London game. We have your Commanders getting another 325 slot. My Packers are on Monday night. So a little bit I can't really talk about my team here for these, but what is the game of the week for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's some ugly ones. I think probably like Steelers Chargers, honestly. That'll probably be the most interesting game to me just because I'm a big Herbert fan. When you look at the Steelers defense, they have some clear weaknesses down the field, but also Herbert's down Joe Alt. So it's like your offensive line sucks. And I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel if I was a Chargers fan. You know what I mean? Like, at least with my Commanders, like, season's over, like, whatever, like, look for next year. The Chargers are in a weird spot where, like, injuries have really hurt them, but they still have Herbert. Like, they still have the pieces. They still are going to keep trying to succeed, but when you can't protect your quarterback at all, like, it's just not going to be successful, in my opinion. I think I love the Chargers. I've been a fan for years, but I'll probably be looking to fade him in the playoffs, just because I don't think I have confidence in that unit. So just kind of seeing how that test works out against the Steelers, right? Herbig, Highsmith, Watt is like the most talented 3, pass rushers you can get on one team. So it's interesting. I guess the Texans are pretty close with Anderson getting back now too, but just like a ton of talent. So it's like strength versus weakness. And if the Chargers can pass that test, I think that would be huge. And I think this would be a big game for them. But honestly, the spread was a little confusing. It almost feels like a pick 'em to me at this point as well. So just very curious how that game turns out, honestly.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be finding a way to bet my boy Ladd for some catches again this week. Hopefully they're just fucking dinking and dunking the hell out of it. The shitty part is I feel like the books are onto that already. When you're looking at McConkey's lines, they're juicing the shit out of 5.5 catches. It's like minus 135. And I'm like, damn, I might just play the ladder and have to do it that way. But I do want to find a way because exactly what you talked about, Joel being out for the season. We saw that first 4 weeks when he was out as well, just how poor it was, right? How hard it was for Herbert. But the crazy thing is Herbert's completions minus 130 to 24.5 again. So it's like, it's way up there, or 23.5, misspoke. But that they do that, man. They give you those minus 130s and they know that we're not trying to bet that, and just like, oh, stay away. You got to stay away or else you got to play the juice. For me, it's kind of interesting because I have a game that I'm going to enjoy fully. The Rams and the 49ers. I'm just happy one of these teams got to lose, baby. I need a team to lose. Those Seahawks sitting in number 1, sitting at the top of this division. I really hope that we get I'm hoping for a Rams win here, really high, and then they come down to earth next week when they have to play at Seattle, or I think it's at home against Seattle. I think we could have a big letdown game there. So I think I'm going to be probably rooting for the Rams, and then just kind of hoping we can get a W next week with Seattle taking on the Rams in another divisional clash. That sucks. Having those two back-to-back games, that's really, really tough. And San Francisco is going to play them physical. They're going to play them physical and hopefully beat them up a little bit, right? Not hoping for any injuries or anything, but just, out physical them a little bit, and maybe it's a tough one to bounce back from when you have to go play probably even more physical team in that Seattle defense.
Yeah, no, that should be a fun game. I honestly thought that one might have been the primetime one, when I was first kind of scrolling through. So makes sense. Divisional rivalry. Those two teams always have good games when they play each other. And yeah, I'm excited to watch that 100%. Is Puka healthy and everything? I saw I got banged up after last game. Is this just going to be the revolving door of Puka injuries? Can you bet him at 100 yards when he might leave for a quarter this game?
Yeah, I have no idea. I saw that his questionable tag is still sitting there.
He's a dog, though. He's going to play.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I have no
91 yards. 91 for a guy that, he might go over in the first half as well, funnily enough. Just a hard line to bet,
Yeah, no, for sure. Let's get to our favorite spot here, Stu. We got dogs of the week. We moved up to 9-7 with a 2-0 split last week. This is last week's. Don't come at us. This is not what it is this week. So we're coming off a 2-0 week here, Stu. What are we thinking here? We got some decent games out here, some decent dogs out here, but a lot of close spreads, right? A lot of closer ones here.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, I would take Carolina, plus 14 against, the Saints if I could get that this week too. But unfortunately, they're favorites now, so I can't even go with them. I'm actually, I like a lot of dogs again. So
I know, there's a lot of good ones.
But I'm going to actually mix it up. I'm going to go to the Falcons, the team you just took last week, actually. I believe 6.5 is what I'm seeing. I don't know if there's a 7 out there, but 6.5. Is fine too. I mean, the Falcons, I just think they can do a lot of the right things to neutralize Daniel Jones in this offense. They're very similar to the Steelers. Funnily enough, they both play a lot of cover one. They have good pass rushes. They get pressure on the quarterback. And I think they're going to do a pretty good job of that in terms of they have a guy like Jesse Bates for Tyler Warren. They have a guy like Terrell who'll be on the outside, probably won't move that much. So I'd imagine he'll get both Pittman and Pierce at different times in the game. And yeah, I just think the Falcons are a good enough defense to make it interesting. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is going to run the ball a lot, I would assume, but they weirdly you'd think with how good Taylor's been that every game he gets 20 carries, and you just look in the box score and he's only touching the ball 14 times a lot of these recent games. So I don't know if that's something they're going to try to fix, but it slows the game down. And honestly, we were talking a little before the show. I think this could be the Bijan rushing bounce back. I'm curious what to lead the weekend in rushing yards is kind of thing as well, because he's down to 66 rush yards, but Bijan's a guy we know can top 100 any given week, and he's had some tough matchups. Obviously, Patriots, one of the toughest in football last week. So I think the Falcons are good dogs. I think it'll be close enough. They make games ugly. You know what I mean? They make it ugly. They make it close, and that's kind of what you need for a cover here. And I think they're valid enough to win this game too. Daniel Jones might have a little bit of a bounce back, but I think the Falcons can mirror a lot of what gave them trouble last week.
Yeah, my always issue with Bijan rushing is just fuck, dude. That guy's a good fucking receiver.
Yeah,
he's just so damn good, man. And what do you have? 10 targets last week again in the passing game. I understand that was a lot harder rushing matchup, and I get that, but getting 10 targets for a back is just, him and McCaffrey pretty much unheard of, and maybe Achane, but those are just kind of shit targets because they just have no offensive line to do anything with it. But I'm just gonna go Houston money line. I can get plus money on them. I'm just gonna roll with them. I know Davis Mills is out there, and it's been long enough in the market that I think they adjusted. Obviously, I think CJ Stroud being in there, they're probably minus 3.5, probably, right? I mean, they're at home in this one. I just have a really hard time watching Jacksonville try to move the ball here. I just don't know how they're going to do it. What are they going to do? I really don't know. And that's the thing is all I need is 2 big plays on the Houston side, right? And you can just say, okay, Nico Collins is better than the corner he's going against. 1 big play, right? Then you have we could see Nick Chubb sit this game, and maybe we finally get a Woody Marks game where he actually gets, to try to be explosive in that rush game. My issue is that Jacksonville defense getting just shredded last week, bro, by Vegas. Like, that does not instill confidence when I don't think you're going to score. And now it's just like, yeah, I get it. Davis Mills on the other side, but we just watched Geno just do nothing in that game there on that side. I just think Houston gets this one done. I wish it was a little bit more, and Davis Mills hate would be a little bit more, but I think that tells you all you need to know. Like, it's still pretty much damn near a pick 'em with a guy who is pretty well known as being a, middle of the road backup quarterback. I just think this defense feasts on these boys, man. I think it's gonna be a tough game for Jacksonville.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was looking at props for this one, just being like, because I like targeting good defenses for props sometimes because they're good at a lot of things and it's obvious what they're good at. And you can try to find what's the one thing they're like not as good at. Houston, it's really tough, especially then when you then compare it to the Jags talent. Where like, is like Hunter Long gonna like take, you know what I mean? Like, who's gonna be the guy that steps up? Parker Washington? Yeah, that's why I was saying your boy, because I think that's.
Yeah, I did catch the ladder last week. That was nice.
Yeah, I think it makes I might even go back to him, but then I think the prices were kind of rough from what I looked at already. But either way, like, it's just, I agree. I'm not sure how Jacksonville scores that much in this game, and if you can't score, you're gonna have a hard time winning. So I'm with it. I think Houston wins as well, and I think Mills is good enough. I think it's probably 1.5, 1 right now. I think CJ makes it like 3. I don't think you get over 3.5. I mean, he's obviously better than Davis Mills, but this is a team that wins and loses on their defense, not their quarterback play.
Yeah, I was just gonna give him I would have gave him 3.5 just because just a little better deep ball, and hopefully we can get just that one extra.
Yeah, Collins.
Yeah, one extra ball out there that deep. But yeah, hopefully we see Nick Chubb say, I want a Woody Marks game, bro. Give me that Woody Marks game. I want it. It's coming. I know he'd be chalk on DFS, but he would be a fun one here. And I'm a little biased as a Woody Marks fantasy owner, and I don't want to play fucking Rashad White against the Patriots. My God, that's not going to be fun. So, yeah, not fun. But let's get to it, guys. We got 20 of you guys in here live with us. We appreciate you. Hit that like button if you could. I'm going to start us out because I got 2 spots. Sue's got 1 and then some long shot action. So I'll start us off, and I'm going to go with, some old reliables. In JSN, 6 catches. Drake London, 5 catches there. I think it was funny when, Stu comes in here last week and, feel like we were on our island of Drake London here. And it's funny when you look at the game before, London had 4 for 42 and you lose. And then the game after he sits and they lose, it's like, oh shit, maybe we just give our best players the ball and give them opportunities, and maybe we'll be better at football if we just stop force feeding Darnell Mooney and force feeding fucking Kyle Pitts when you have Drake London and you got fucking Bijan Robinson on this team. 14 targets last week. What I liked was the red zone, right? I mean, those were 1-yard plays, dude. Like, he was getting 2-yard catches in the red zone on just those dink and dunk actions. I'm loving the motion they're setting them in. He does those quick outs right there. It's free catches, bro. It's just free catches, and they're finally just moving them into slot, using them in the they don't have Ray there no more to do all the extra motion stuff. They're putting Drake London in motion, which thank God he's not just lining up in one spot anymore. He's everywhere. I know this is a London game. I don't love it. I think Penix is going to have to do something here. This is a game where you kind of expect Indy to still be able to score, maybe not as prolific as they have all season. They're still going to be able to score the football here. Got a ton of weapons on that side. I think they do keep it close. I do like the 6.5 look that you pulled up. I think this is a close game. And I have liked what I've seen from Penix in his throws to London here. So give the ball to Bijan, feeding Drake London. It's crazy because I think I've looked at his last, 4 active games. It's 10, 16, 10, 14. No shit. This guy is that much better. And everybody was kind of a little bit down on him after that Tampa Bay week where he had 15 targets. Then he had the Minnesota game and that Carolina stinker. But since then, they're like, damn, he is significantly better than every other guy we got. Obviously, a top 10 wide receiver in football. I'm talking about top 10 wide receivers. I'm going to JSN in another spot. And I'm going to go to it until the wheels fall off. I don't know why you wouldn't. This guy has been, obviously number 1 in football. You can argue with Puka here, But this is a game you must win, right? You're playing Arizona. They're on a short week after the Monday night game. You got to put up the numbers here. They haven't been able to run the fucking football with either one of those guys. So JSN getting the short routes, obviously still getting the deep balls. The dude's volume is unmatched, and dude just makes so many contested catches throughout the game. I feel like 6 catches with the target share that he has. Like I said, number 1 target share in the league right now. It's tough to get away from him. Sign me up for JSN, and London's going to do his thing. It might not be the crazy amount of yards as last week, but definitely see him getting in the score sheet quite a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, too, like JSN it looks like they're kind of reeling in the downfield usage a little bit more and kind of, they brought in Shaheed, the downfield guy. Obviously, Horton was the downfield guy as well. Like JSN can kind of win over the middle a little bit more, which just opens up like shorter passes and easier to convert catches, And yeah, London obviously is in another good spot right here. Another game where I don't know why you wouldn't just give him 10 targets for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? Like, you can still fit in the rest of your offense with that being the case. And unless you're running the ball a billion times and you have to drop back, like, London is the guy that comes through when you win. So I don't know why you wouldn't keep doing that,
Yeah, give it give the best players the ball, right? I mean, I feel like it's not rocket science. Okay, I don't know what the question is. So if you have like people you want us to pick through, I'm not. It's gonna be that's a lot of people in there to try to go through. I don't know if you're just looking for a flex here. I would assume you don't need to put JSN in there because JSN ain't coming out of your lineup. So just message what you want us to like pick from. Usually is what we do versus just labeling out the whole team here. So. Stu, I'll kick it over to you till we get those back in the chat. You have your one play and then obviously a long shot coming here.
Yeah, and I guess to answer that, I'd go Pierce over Wandale in the bench. But yeah, into my action now. We got Vele for the Saints, no longer Bronco. Sometimes I forget to put the team name on like Substack, and I feel bad because people are like. And then I realized, like, well, he plays for the Chiefs. Like, maybe you could have figured that out. But then Vele, I'm like, honestly, maybe no one even knows who this guy even is. You know what I mean? So yeah, had to clarify that he was over on New Orleans. Now he was in the Broncos last year. Power slot guy, big 4th round pick, old as well. He's drafted at like 25 or something like that. And then for whatever reason, he's over in the Broncos to start the year, and then he gets traded. And I forget, the Saints gave up like a 4th round pick for him, which is kind of crazy when you look at like a guy that could arguably be cut and just, picked up later on, like a guy that was, maybe not cut, but, Vele is not like a big piece that anyone was like really looking forward to getting their hands on. So 4th round pick was like enough draft capital that you'd be like, they want to involve this guy, right? And then they really didn't. Like, he really hasn't played all year. He hasn't been involved. He's the kind of guy that, like, when you have Shaheed and when you have Olave and when you have Johnson, like, there just wasn't really a room for him. Brandon Cooks was playing the 3rd wide receiver role. I think what's going to happen now is Vele is going to play on every 3 wide receiver set. And I think he's going to play in some 2 wide receiver sets as well. And obviously, knowing the Saints, they're behind in every game. You know what I mean? So you're going to constantly be churning out those 3 wide receiver sets. They are also one of the lowest 2 tight end formation teams in the league. Kellen Moore offenses have always been like that. So 11 personnel is great. It means more Vele snaps. It means more 3 wide receiver sets. His competition, once again, geriatric Brandon Cooks. And then we have Mason Tipton as well, who's like a special teamer. So you really don't have too much. Olave is going to keep doing the Olave thing, no doubt about it. But I think Olave probably runs more downfield routes now because Olave's been all over the place, but they've used him a lot short so far this year. But obviously Shaheed kind of fills that role as the guy that can do short yardage stuff, but he also spreads the field. So I think Olave might be doing a little bit more field stretching. And then I think Vele is the guy that'll step up for those short yardage targets. So yards is like 16.5, but I like catches a lot more just because I think they're going to be near the line of scrimmage, 3rd and short, red zone, like end zone, those kind of passing plays. Because Vele's big and you want to use his size to kind of create mismatches. So other thing is the quotes. were just extremely positive. Like I read coach speak all day, every day. You got to take it with a grain of salt. It's not like something you should like put your life on, but Kellen Moore said Vele will have a healthy role and be very involved for the rest of the season. Doug Neusmeyer said Vele will step into a much bigger role following the trade. And then when they asked Tyler Shuck about it, he said it should specifically be a great chance to get Vele involved in the action going forward. So like every possible person that you'd want to have a positive quote has said something. It's not like this guy was traded for and he just fell into the shadows and they forgot about him. They want to get him out there. They want to play him. And I think he's going to have a pretty solid week. I think this might be the lowest you get him for the rest of the season. So might as well try to jump on. There's a chance it totally backfires as well. I'm not going to put that out. Mason Tipton could crush us. That would be kind of disappointing if you lose out to a special teamer. But that's kind of the risk here. It's only 1.5 catches for a reason. I think there's enough positives to outweigh the negative.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm actually in the same game, man. I'm in the same game. I'm actually going to the tight end in that game. Juwan Johnson there for the Saints. I'm going over there in that matchup against Carolina. I just don't see the Saints team even stopping Carolina, bro. That defense was fucking horrible last week. The Rams were on their freaking backups by the middle way through the third quarter. I don't know if Stafford threw a ball in the fourth quarter because they were up so much. I think it was like 34-3, and then they scored that touchdown with Juwan Johnson. Only 4 targets, but only 24 pass attempts. So expecting that to obviously come up. This Carolina defense is not as good as the Rams, obviously. So that was a tough spot for Shuck in that game, right? I mean, that's a good pass rush over there. I think Kamara had 0.2 fantasy points in that game. Didn't do anything. I think they'll be able to have a little bit more success in terms of like getting first downs and getting drives to be a little longer. It's just tough when, the time of possession was what it was. You only have 24 pass attempts. That's tough. It's tough to like overcome that. They had the ball for 16 minutes in the whole fucking game. 16 minutes, dude. That one of the most crazy lopsided I've ever seen. 43 minutes of ball control time for the Rams here. So I think that people kind of think that Shuck sucks and all this shit. You look at that last game and he's like, this is horrible. But when you have you give anybody, it doesn't matter what team you are, only 16 minutes of ball control time, everybody's going to suck. So at least in fantasy terms. So sign me up. I like Juwan Johnson here. I think we see, obviously the 25% or 20% target share last week is encouraging. Only 4 targets, but like I said, only 24 pass attempts here. Tucker Kraft did his thing against these guys before going down with the injury. Luke Musgrave had 2 or 3 catches against these guys over the middle as well. So I think these are going to be quick ones, man. And I like Vele as well in this spot. But I think what you talked about with Shaheed being gone is big, right? That's a screen guy, right? That's a guy that using the screens. And I hope that Olave is running those 20-yard routes. I want those ones underneath because they're probably getting beat. That offensive line is probably getting beat. And I need that ball out quick. And tight end is a rookie's best friend, man. So sign me up. Give me Juwan Johnson. I like the 4 catches.
I agree. If there's one thing we know about Shuck, it's like the short passing stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know if the guy has even attempted a downfield pass. I didn't watch last week's game, so I don't know who would have after, that start, obviously. But yeah, Juwan Johnson's good. Like I said, they run a lot of single tight end formations, and he's a wide receiver that just gets called a tight end. You know what I mean? So just keep running 7 yards, turning around, and planting. And I think that'll be enough to get the job done here.
Yeah, it's tough to look at last week, dude. Like, I looked at that game log and looked at the time of possession. I'm like, I don't know if I've seen one like that, like ever. 16 minutes, 16:50 or something. That's absurd. Absolutely absurd there. A couple questions here, Stu, before we get going and get you into a long shot spot here. I think someone's bringing up Vele. I would assume that's Vele that you're talking about there. Panthers can give it up. Do you like long shots on Vele this week, or is it more, just kind of staying lower?
I think they're live, but I think receptions might be what I go to first, although I guess he could get a jump ball just with his size. But yeah, no, I like anything at time a number is that low. I like the ladder opportunities. I'll just say the negative is that the Panthers are just so slow and that it's just going to be a slow game. And I think that kind of limits your like high end upside to get to the 80s of the world, maybe a 50 or something like that, but I don't know if we're going to all the way up the ladder,
Sounds good. Do we get more Taysom Hill usage? with Shuck out there. I fucking hope not. I really fucking hope not.
I would play him more, but
I would assume you want this rookie to get in the end zone, right? That like actually feeling good about, doing stuff. Even though like I would like Taysom Hill in there if they're playing a better team, right? Where I'm like a little bit more worried he might get hurt, but you just throw Taysom Hill out there just because he gets hurt every year, just because he's a fucking dude just tries to kill everybody. And he always gets hurt. So it's like, okay, we'll just let him take a couple. But I hope they don't. I want more. I want more passing. I don't want to watch Taysom Hill, dude. It looks like he's got like a bionic arm when he pulls his arm back because doesn't. There's no actual smoothness to any of his throws. It's just like bionic. It looks like it hurts, bro, when he throws the ball. So I'm like, well, now you know what's fucking coming. This bitch ain't throwing the ball. Like, just keep the rookie in there, chuck the ball around.
I agree with that. I'm with it.
You were the guy talking about Jennings last week, so I'll let you talk about him this week.
We'll do that in the long shot. How about that?
Okay.
Also, I will say this other one was very funny. Guy on the right, make sure you're getting outside. My friends are gonna love that because I agreed to go to the Wizards game tonight, and because I got my buddy got a free ticket or whatever, and I slept for 2 hours last night. I went to a rave with my friend. I don't do this, right? This is not my world. It went till 4 a.m. on a Thursday.
I was gonna say, dude, Thursday.
Insane. And also, everyone there is so fired up at 4 a.m. still. I felt like going to a rave without drugs would be like going to the home run derby without PEDs, like going against Barry Bonds. Like, everyone else is fucking fired up at 4 a.m. And I'm like, I'm ready for bed. I was ready for bed 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is why I have, no energy or anything whatsoever. But hey, we're still here. We're making it work.
Yeah, I don't know if you could pay me to go to a rave that late. I don't know if you could.
Well, I got there at 10 or 11 or whatever. I was thinking, okay, we'll get out here at 12, 1, what I get, nice little solid night. But no, that went very late. I didn't, wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, dude, I don't do those. I don't even know if I could make it till 4 a.m. I would have probably been sleeping even with that music there, bro. I probably would have. But let's get a quick recap in here. I'll kick it off. JSN 6 catches, London 5 catches, minus 113. I'm also rolling Jawan Johnson for the Saints at minus 115 as well over on DraftKings there.
Sounds good. I got a little combo. We got Vele of the Saints over 1.5 catches with the Lions money line. I guess I didn't even talk about the Lions at all, but I talked about
the Commanders.
I was going to say, I've talked about Washington losing every week for like 5 weeks. So people are probably tired of that. I think they're going to lose. So there's the analysis. You can DM me if you actually have more questions or whatever, but.
Yep. And then our dogs of the week were Falcons and Houston. Stu, I do not have a long shot yet this week. I'm hoping you do. What do you got for us?
Yeah, funnily enough, I was actually just going to go back to my boy Terrell Jennings touchdown at plus 390 over on the Patriots. So someone in the chat called that. Shout out David. Good work on that. I cashed it last week. I don't know why I wouldn't go back to it again. Stevenson's not going to play. Henderson is going to be the outside runner, and they need someone to kind of go between the tackles. They need someone to do the gritty work, and I think that's when Jennings is going to play. And it felt kind of obvious last week, and he did it. And it feels like it's kind of obvious again. The biggest detriment is obviously the Buccaneers defense is very good at stopping the run. But honestly, I think that's going to have downstream effects on Henderson as well. You know what I mean? So in a game where there's going to be multiple scoring opportunities, I think Jennings is going to be out there. I think if you get to that, 3rd and 1, that 3rd and short, or, whatever up on the goal line, he's going to be the back that gets those touches. He's the bruiser on this team. And so that makes him the goal line back, and it makes 390 an interesting enough price for me. So I like Jennings in this one. I think he's going to be, the short yardage guy. And yeah, I think 390 is a solid enough price for the guy that'll, if there's a goal line touch, he'll get it,
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, I'm looking through. What was it last week for you? What was the price last week?
It was like the same.
Oh,
It was 400. It was like the exact same price.
Awesome. Well, we still got 25 of you guys in here. Hit that like button. I think we only got like 6 or 7 likes. I know we were a little late coming on the stream. But get a couple likes on there. Hit that like button. NBA Cup tonight should be fun. I'm ready for that. It's going to be fun there. My Bucks are playing the Bulls, the surprising Chicago Bulls, man. They've been playing very good basketball. Giannis against Josh Giddey. Who would have thought that'd be the fucking marquee matchup of this fucking little division there? So
it's unfortunate. I talked a lot of shit on Josh Giddey before the season started, so he's kind of been proving me wrong.
Oh my god, dude. He's been second in triple doubles in the NBA right now.
The good news is there's still a lot of time to fall off. So hey, the bags aren't, we're not cooked yet, but obviously shout out to the people that, were on Giddey this year because he's cooking right now. And also, speaking of triple double, shout out to the GOAT, Russell Westbrook, still doing it at his old age. Gotta love it. Big Russ fan.
Yeah, what's gonna happen when they all get healthy and they have all these dudes that just are there's no Sabonis, right? And then there's no Monk for a game, and then they have no Levine for a game. And I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck happens when they're all healthy and they all have a 25+% usage? We're gonna sit Russ on there and play him 14 minutes a game. That dude's gonna fucking riot, dude.
Yeah, it's just, that whole team's just like a meme. So I don't know. It's just like, who cares? Like the Kings are just funny, I don't know. But either way, I will be at the NBA Cup tonight as well. Wizards, Cavs. So hopefully my Wizards don't lose by 400. Normally, like NBA. Well, I was gonna say because normally NBA Cup is like good because you're like, oh, we're gonna get a good game. But for me, it's like, no, that means they're gonna try and beat you by 60. Exactly. So it's like we don't even get the fun like Wizards like hang around all game and then lose at the end, which is what they do in regular games when teams don't care that much. Like we just play close enough, in an entertaining game. But I think we might just get destroyed in this one. So that's kind
only
of
13.5, Stu. Only 13.5.
That's not a great number though, either way. But maybe we keep it close. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
I just gotta find something to bet on, so at least I have something to keep me awake. I just want to go to sleep so bad. I don't even want to go to the stupid fucking game, but it's okay. Go Wizards, right?
Yeah. Giddey. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because I saw this Giddey killing my Amen most improved ticket. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I looked a couple games ago. I'm pretty sure both of the top 2 most improved best odds are both Bulls. I'm pretty sure it's Booz Ellis as the second. So they're both Bulls. So unfortunate for you with your Amen ticket, they're playing the Bucks, who are just gonna let that motherfucker shoot whatever he wants from the outside. So I'm very intrigued to see how that game goes tonight. I'm telling you right now, I will have a bet on Nikola Vucevic. That guy kills the Bucks, dude. He is literally the Bucks killer. I know they didn't have Giddey playing this well during it, so I think Giddey does well, but I'm telling you right now, guys, Nikola Vucevic kills the fucking Bucks. That dude just every game. I don't know if it'll do the same thing without Brook there, because Brook Lopez was like the king of letting you shoot whatever the fuck you want, and Nikola Vucevic actually can shoot. So I don't know if it's going to be the same this year, but might be worth a sprinkle for me in some way, shape, or form. Because yeah, dude, he just always was good for 20 and 10 every time they played the Bucks.
Yeah, no, I like it. Obviously, like you said, just they played that deep drop with Brook. Even without him, still Giannis plays a lot of drop. Like they're gonna let him shoot. So I used to always play threes in that one, and I agree. I thought definitely should be a good spot.
Should be good. It should be good. Stu, anything else from you before we get it rolling here? I know. Let me just confirm on this. You said Pierce was your answer for his team there. I'm assuming Wandell is the flex.
Well, I guess Rome could be good too. Man, I bet Rome.
Even if Chubb sits, would you play Woody?
I mean, I guess just volume, but I don't think Woody's very like I liked him but I don't think he's as explosive as people make him out to be. I just think he's a pass catcher that doesn't have that burst, which makes you like Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears. Like I think he's that kind of player, which is like whatever, just a mid kind of player. So I don't know. Rome could be good, but yeah, you have a lot of good options. So I wouldn't be too. But Pierce, I mean, the downfield stuff, single high usage matchup. Once again, that's probably who I'd just fire. Wandell maybe, but I don't like the Giants. I don't want to trust that offense. Just when you think Wandell would get like 10 targets or whatever every game, it's just like that doesn't even happen. So I don't know.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video. We have a couple days before obviously it starts up. Make sure you guys are locking in these bets early. I know my bet's going to start at 8:30 on Sunday, so don't wait. Don't wait till Sunday to lock it in. Because you know how many times we've had people fucking in my fantasy league, oh, I forgot to change my lineup before the London game. Well, fuck off, dude. Like, how about we wake up a little earlier or lock it in early? Lock them in early so you're not missing the bet, and we'll be ready to go. So we'll catch you guys on Monday, same time, ready to roll. And good luck on all your bets this weekend.